Yeah, I thought I heard it all till today. I mean, really, it's really crazy. It's crazy out here, people. I understand though how hard it is to weave through all the lies with the internet. There's so many avenues that you could go down that I understand where people are. You know, think about what Jesus said. They nailed him to the cross. He said, Lord, forgive them. They know not what they do. I was just talking to somebody today, and I thought it was a joke at first, and I mentioned to somebody else. I mean, I've heard it all. And to hear this from somebody who's college educated, who knows you and knows that you're a good person, you know, you help everybody, you help whoever, and you do right. And to know that they believe this, I mean, the cults and the isms are indoctrinating everybody. Everybody's under some kind of indoctrination from a child, and if they can, it's hard. It's just so hard to believe. It's just so hard to believe. It blows your mind when somebody says the white man's the devil. I can understand that because the Illuminati started in Germany. I can understand that, and from an extreme professor, but somebody who's like, I know the system's bad, but the system is based on the flesh side of man. And if you really, the person when people say this, they forget that Adam and Eve were not white. They were in the Egypt area. They were from Egyptian area. Egypt, Africa. And so, and the logic would be, well, through the gene pool, and losing some kind of, or see, this is where the Book of Enoch comes in and it messes people up. You know, the Bible's clear. It doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter if it's male or female. You're born in sin. Everybody's the devil, really. In their old flesh mind, they're all children of the devil. It's not just the white man. Everybody's the child of the devil. I can understand the oppression. I understand that people would get, you know, if you're under oppression for a long time, it would be easy. Let's say I lived in China and I was being persecuted, and I saw my race being persecuted in China. I'd say the Chinese are the devil. I'd probably believe that. Or if I was in Russia, I'd say the Russians are the devil. Or if I was in Japan, the Japanese are the devil. You know, I would probably believe that. So I'm not mad at anybody. I can understand it, but it's really just a cult mindset. It's a cult. Because if you really use logic, if we all started in Egypt, the Egyptian area, the African, Middle East area, we all started there. We had to start somewhere. Now, see, this is where people would get confused. They say, well, you're seeded from the aliens. You have a seed from an alien, or you're manipulated. You're the son of, you know, children of the. Instead of being a spiritual seed of the devil, they think it's an actual physical seed. This is why I'm against the Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch causes these problems in the mind of people. They might not even know what the Book of Enoch is, but I promise you, it comes from other books besides the Bible, because other books are going to come up with some kind of thing about, I'm friends with this person. I'm not mad, but I'm in shock that people believe this still. I'm really in shock. Adam and Eve, and all you have to do is check the DNA of everybody, and we all came from the same source, you know. Just check the DNA and how close it matches. It blows your mind. It really blows your mind, to be honest with you. People could actually believe. Now, if somebody really believes that a certain race is the devil, whether they're white, black, yellow, green, brown, whatever, if you believe a certain race is the devil, then in your mind, you could justify that you want to take out that race. You want to take that race out of the program, out of the equation. And that's probably what Bill Gates is doing with eugenics and all. And Hitler did. We know Hitler was the devil. We know that Chinese leader who killed all the people, he was the devil. We know a lot of leaders were the devil. If you look back at the history of the Egyptian kings, a lot of them were very murderous. They were like the devil. My point is, every race has been demonic. Every race has devils. We're all born in sin. And so I don't care which race it is. I mean, even the Apostle Paul, he was Jewish and he got mad at the Jews. He even said the Jews are enemy of the whole world. He said that. He was mad. He said they're trying to keep people from salvation. It's in the Bible. Apostle Paul said that. He didn't say the exact those words, but that's what he said. He said they're contrary to all man. He called his own people devils. And the Jewish people are called by God. They're the chosen ones. If God chose the Jewish people and the Apostle Paul called them devils, they're contrary to all men. That's his own kind. It's easy to fall into this race war. It's easy to fall into men are bad or women are bad. It's easy to fall into that, but it's not. You have to go back to the source and say, why do I think that way? Did my mama tell me? Did my grandparent tell me? Am I going to accept it? See, it's hard to reject. Okay, so even my own life, if you're raised around a bunch of redneck stuff, right? I either keep following that logic, which is not logic at all, or I reject it and I become my own person. You have to become your own person eventually. You can't believe something because your parents or your grandparents. You have to take and rightly divide the truth, and you have to go back and do your own research. Everybody's the devil, because your flesh mind is nothing but sin. The spirit mind. And so who can be righteous? Anybody, by faith. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. Is Jesus a white man? I don't think so. I think Jesus came from the Middle East, right? And that's one of the arguments that this person, not this person, but another person who seems to be in the same cult. Well, they put Jesus on there as a white man, and that, he's not. Well, I agree with that part, but that don't mean that's not a proof that the white man's the devil. It's wild. The white man's done some bad stuff, and the Germans, the Illuminati Germans rule this world, but no matter which system runs the world, it's going to be evil. Like I say, I listen to Billy Carson, and he does a lot of deep study in Billy Carson, and you ought to listen to him. I don't agree with everything he says, but I really listen to him. Billy Carson, he did a deep study on Egypt and the hieroglyphs, stuff like that. And he's a black man. I listen to him. I also listen to Tony Evans. I used to listen to him. I don't listen to him anymore because I do my own studies, but I used to listen to Tony Evans a long time ago. And he went to Dallas Seminary, black man. No one race has a monopoly on the truth. Each member of the human race has some truth. And when I was married, I was listening to Louis Farrakhan just to see what he believed. My wife would get mad. Why are you listening to him? I mean, she got mad. And I think I know why now, but she would be mad. I'd say, what do you mean? Why can't I listen to Louis Farrakhan just to see what he believes? I'm not saying I believe like him, but I want to listen to what he has to say, you know? And just like today, I listened to what was being said, but I was in shock that even to this day, people are still believing that one race is the devil. It doesn't matter which race. It's just the fact that somebody believes that one race is the devil. When actually, if that was true, how come the different races can have babies, get married and have babies, have offspring? It's just not, it just doesn't add, logically it doesn't add up. It doesn't matter which race you're talking about. We all came from the same source. That's why it's per son, per the son. Adam and Eve. And that's not even the biggest war that we're facing out here. That's not even the biggest mind control game that's going on. The biggest mind control game, so what do we got? We got these big games about race wars, which is stupid. These big games about the rich and poor, which is the rich making the poor slaves, and they don't even realize that there's unlimited resource. Everybody could be rich, and they just want to hold on, you know. It's unlimited out there. But the biggest, there's some more games out there that are lies and people are just playing. The biggest lie out of all of them, and I told her that today, I said, the race war is not anything close to what I'm going to tell you. And the rich and the poor is not. What's really crazy, because it happens in all races, I've seen it, I've talked to every race about it, the men and the women fighting each other. The men don't understand us, and the men say the women don't understand us. That's bigger than anything. Now, what is that? Why are the men and women fighting? They should be in unity. The man and the woman should be in peace, in their home, in unity. They have different roles. They have different functions. They think different. They bring, so if it's a body, so a man and woman, so here's a car ship. So a man and woman get married, they have a house, and they create a home ship. Their body ship, right? And so the man and the woman are part of the same ship. Why are they fighting? If they work together, they could get so much accomplished. It is off the roof. But you see people saying, I'm not getting married. I don't want, and they fight each other in the home where there's supposed to be peace and love and truth and compassion and all that. And they fight each other in the home. That's bigger than anything. To say any race is the devil, to say any race is different than the other race, because everybody has sin. There's every culture, each culture, I don't care if it's Chinese, Russian, white, black, Spanish, Japanese, Chinese, Indonesian, or Jewish. Every culture is people should be able to see this. Every culture is going to have a groupthink. Groupthink is the problem. You've got to think for yourself. You can't be in groupthink. GROUPTHINK. Groupthink is the problem. It don't matter what race, it don't matter what culture, it don't matter what language. If you're in groupthink, that's the hive. And that's why you think somebody's your enemy when they're not. They could be your best friend. They actually might even be more your best friend. Because if you sit down and talk to somebody who has differences, right? and you listen to their perspective and you say, okay, I know where you're coming from. I understand. And I didn't live your life. I haven't lived it. And there's no way I can really experience that. But I hear what you're saying, and I can try to find situations where I've been in, and I can understand where you're coming from. Then they might be able to become friends and have peace just because they communicated and know each other. I had somebody help me run a business online from China for a long time. And she has different views like socialism, and I'm more of a capitalist. I don't even like extreme capitalism, but I know every nation has some socialism, has to have, because that's the poor are always going to be with you, the Bible says. So when I talked to her over the years, over 4 years, I started to see her perspective. And the Chinese people are not bad people. They just believe what they've been taught from a child about socialism or communism. They think we're pigs. They think we're pigs, and they go to extreme. But when they're making money through a business, they love you. But if the money runs dry, they think, oh, you're just a capitalist pig. Okay, so, all right, well, that's fine. But what happened when it was flowing, you were happy and you had cash flow? You see what I'm saying? A lot of it has to do with their circumstance. So when everything's flowing, I love capitalism. When there's a bump in the road, they get bitter. You're just a capitalist pig. But actually, China's a capitalist state, because it's not it's capitalism in disguise. It's just wow. I mean, I'm still in shock what I heard today. I mean, you can't be in groupthink. Groupthink is your worst enemy. If you believe the groupthink lie, you're going to stay bitter, unforgiveness. You're not going to listen to other people. I listen to. I'm pretty sure his name is Billy Carson. I got it saved on my phone. I listen to him, even though I don't agree with everything he says. I still listen. I don't need to listen to Louis Farrakhan anymore. I already know what he believes. But I listen to everybody. I listen to David Icke. I listen to Joe Rogan. I don't listen to Alex much anymore, because it's the same stuff. I've already learned his stuff. Listen to all of them. I don't even need to listen to David Icke anymore, but I listen to all of them, because I take pieces that are of truth, and it doesn't matter what race they are. I don't care what race they are. I want some truth. I want pieces of the truth fitting all together. Who else do I listen to? Some of them are dead. Alan Watts, he's dead. I listen to him. I listen to all these. I listen to some New Age people. I listen to Abraham Hicks. I used to listen to Joyce Myers. I don't listen to her anymore. I listen to. It doesn't matter who it is. I mean, I listen until I get there. What I try to do is I listen to them long enough to get their worldview, And once I get their worldview, I move on, because I've learned that worldview. And then I look for patterns, okay? I look for patterns in these different worldviews, and I take a common denominator, a universal truth out of these people. Doesn't matter if it's Baptist, Pentecostal, Methodist. Doesn't matter if it's a cult, an ism. I'll listen to all of them, because I'm grounded in the Word. I know my Bible. I'm secure in my Bible. I'm not saying that you should listen to everybody until you get grounded in the Word, but if you have enough time and intestinal fortitude to listen to all these different beliefs. What shocks me today is I thought this person was educated, but this person is in groupthink. Because if she took it all the way back to Egypt, she would know that we all came from not the white man, but we came from whatever race was in Egypt. And yeah, the skin tone colors changed. And you could say, well, the reason that they're this way is because they lost part of their DNA or their skin tone. It doesn't really matter. I've met people who are their skin, because their race is a certain race, their skin should be darker, but their skin's lighter. But they're still of that race. My point is, they're not devils. I'm saying that the race war thing is just stupid. That's all I'm saying. It's just stupid. It really is. It shouldn't even exist. And I'm talking about nations. I mean, why is Russia fighting their own people? Think about it. Ukraine and Russia, they came from the same place. They're fighting each other. In America, we have a mixture. We're not fighting each other. There might be times where they're needed. I mean, the George Floyd thing. There needed to be there needed to be that. That needed to happen to push back, to bring attention. Hey, you can't. This is not 1960s. This is 2000. We're not going backwards. We're going forward. That needed to happen. The George Floyd thing, where people rebelled and said, no, this ain't going to happen. That needed to happen. And it's calmed down, but it needed to happen. But I had somebody that I no longer work with. She tried to get me to follow her script. I said, look, I agree with the fighting back against people shouldn't kill another race based on race. I agree with that. But you can't tell me who to vote for, what script to write or whatever. I'm always going to vote Republican unless Republicans go to the extreme socialism. I am not a socialist at all. But if somebody wants to be, that's fine for them. I'm not going to fight against them. I'm going to fight against the ideology of socialism, but I'm not going to fight against the person. I'm not going to judge and be mad. I'm actually going to try to pull them into not wild capitalism, but regular capitalism. But what blew my mind is we're talking about an educated person who should be able to see this, but the lies are so deep. If you just follow it back logically, you would know it doesn't make sense. And then the male and female thing, that's happening too. I mean, that's happening big time. It's so covert. The man and the woman need each other, but why is it some homes they hate each other, but they're in the same house? It just doesn't add up. And then the mother-in-law or the mother will get in and cause confusion. If you make a new home, a new unity ship body, there shouldn't be in-laws or outlaws interfering. Your pastor shouldn't interfere. They shouldn't be. There's nobody should be interfering in your home. You know what I'm saying? It's wild. People jump to conclusions without being logic. And the only thing I can figure is groupthink. They've been brainwashed by the news, the media. Groupthink. Groupthink is your worst enemy. And I think that's what's happening. Here's what I think's happening. Bill Gates and the Illuminati and the Jesuits and the Freemasons and the Kabbalists. I think what they're doing is they're testing different group things and see how far they can take it. And the groupthink is a test, so when the tribulation kicks in, the whole world will be under groupthink. And I think what's going to happen with the groupthink is they're going to use, this looks like they're going to use something, they're going to use this or a derivative of this, and it's the unity consciousness. The devil's going to use unity consciousness to bring all the religions together, all the races together, all the cults and the isms, the political parties. The devil's going to use unity consciousness to bring everybody together in oneness. Now, some people will say, well, that's a good thing, right? No, because there's only one way back to God, and that's through Jesus. You can't get back to God through unity consciousness. You must be born again. Doesn't matter what race you are. Doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. God made man in his image. God made male and female in his image. That's Bible. That's in Genesis. In the image of God made he male and female. The unity there, the give and the receive. There's your reciprocal process. The give and the receive. The man gives, the woman receives. She gives back and he receives. The man gives the seed, she receives seed, she has the baby, she gives back the baby, the man receives. They're working together as a team, giving and receiving, a reciprocal process. And so that reciprocal process is a fractal image of this reality. Thank you, you're welcome. Here, take it. They take it, they receive it. Believe on Jesus, receive Christ into your heart, receive. Give. God gave, you receive. You give back what you got. It flows through you. From him, through him, and to him. God gives it. It flows through him, back to him. Through you, through the water flows, the currency between the bankers flows, and the current between the banks flows. Everything flows because the blood flows. Everything has to flow. I've been doing the Uber Lyft stuff for 8 years, part-time. And I've talked to a lot of people. Even before then, I talked to a lot of people because I work with a phone company. I've done maintenance in our apartments and all kinds of stuff. And the conversations I've had with the Spanish, black, the white, the Asian, if I'm leaving somebody out, sorry. And the conversations I've had with every race, there's good conversations with every race, and there's bad conversations with every race. There's people who are stuck in their box and they'll never escape. But what shocks you is when somebody who seems to be outside of a box is still in a box. And you thought you knew these people, but they're in the box and they can't see their box. They're in such a tight, closed box that you want to just say, wake up. It blows your mind. But I'm not mad. And I try to look, here's the way I try to think when I hear somebody say stuff like that. I say, well, if I was in China, I know I'd be persecuted and I know there'd be people against me. But I would try to think that not all the Chinese, I mean, it's a population thing. Not all the Chinese would hate me as a white man, you know. And I know that this one person's just one person, but this groupthink is off the roof. I mean, and what I'm getting at is today I realize there's so many factions to the groupthink that the only thing I can figure is it's being used as a test to find out how far they can push people. And how blind they can keep people. Because it's so obvious that everybody came from Adam and Eve. And Adam and Eve were not white. They were not white people. Adam and Eve was not white. And so, yeah, when they put a picture of Jesus as a white man, we know that's not right. That's why the Bible says make no graven image. We know it's not right. But why be mad about it? If I was to go to Japan, they'd probably have a picture of Jesus as Japanese. And I don't really have a problem with it because it's everybody's per the son because he's a per son. So no matter which area I go, if they have a picture of Jesus for their color, I'm not going to worship it. I'm not going to fight against them. If they think Jesus is white, black, Chinese, it doesn't matter to me because everybody came from him. Made in God's image. So God made man in his image. But most of the people who follow these boxes, and they get stuck in these cults and isms and these weird doctrines, they've never been born again. If you are born again, you see that if Jesus went to the cross for everybody, no matter what race, doesn't matter if it's a male or female, that no person is really the devil. The men are not the devils. See, a lot of women think the men are. If the men wasn't in control, there'd be no wars. That's a lie from the pit of hell. Eve is the one that drops us down. But I'm not saying Adam is responsible. She was taken out of the side of man. And this diva stuff about worshiping women and Mother Mary, that's insanity. That's just total insanity. And there's a lot of channels on there that also they just say pump and dump. And these men have lost their mind. They're destroying their own heart. Whoredom wine and new wine take away the heart. So if they just look at the woman as an object, that's wrong too. And so it's like all these little avenues, all these little boxes or cults and isms and all these little group thinks boxes should be able to be seen. They should be able to see through it if they would step back, cut off the music, cut off the TV, cut off the noise, cut off family if they have to, step back and think for themselves. But it's like people can't even think for themselves anymore. It's like, step back and think for yourself. Think about what you're saying. Are you thinking in groupthink? Are you thinking for yourself? That's one reason I like to listen to Alan Watts. Alan Watts, though, he ends up saying that man's God, which I don't believe, but man's made in the image of God, and he is if he's born again, he is a part of the I am, and each person is a derivative of the I am. Jesus is the I am. So I am John, I am Susie, I am Richard, I am Susie Q, or whoever. I am then. I am going to the store. I am here. I am over there. I am. There's always I am in a sentence that you're trying to say what you're doing or who you are or whatever. I am tired. I am going to sleep. I am is in every sentence that's describing what you're going to do or where you're going. You know what I'm saying? And so the I am is always present. You can't live without the I am. Actually, you're eating and drinking and breathing of the I am, that eternal life, every moment of every day. And so it doesn't matter who it is, what race it is, what gender, male or female. It doesn't matter who it is. You're eating and drinking of I am just to survive and don't even know it. That's why you say, I am going to the store. I am sleepy. I am going to buy this. I am going to do something. To be, am is to be. Just be. If you really want to break it down to its root, when are you the most content? Just being. Just be. Be in the now. Get rid of your identity of something in 3D. Just be. This is the secret right here. I didn't think I was going to talk like this, but this is the secret. If I get my identity out of that house, this car, my job, my skin color, my education, or anything, that's not my identity. My identity is just being, to be in God, in Christ, in the I am. Not that I am, but I'm just abiding in that Jesus said, I am that I am. That's where you abide. That's where you get your identity, in the I am. I'm not talking about unity consciousness right now. I'm talking about Jesus is the I am. And so where do I get my identity? In Jesus. Jesus is the I am. So I am is being. Just be. Who are you? I am in I am. I didn't say I am that I am. I said I'm in I am. I'm just chilling. That's who I am. Who are you? I'm just inside I am. Who are you? You're inside I am. What's your race? I am. What's your gender? I am. In the spirit. Down here in 3D, yeah, you got different divisions and functions going on. The male and the female have different roles down here in 3D. But in the spirit, there's neither male nor female. In I am. I used to be of the mindset I couldn't learn from a woman. I wouldn't listen to any woman ever said. But then when I started talking to different born again women, I learned a lot. I learned a lot from these women online. If I would have listened probably when I was married to my wife, even though I didn't think she knew what she was talking about, but if I would have listened, I probably could have looked at it from her point of view and said, okay, I hear where you're coming from. But at that time, I was not in the mindset that I am now. We all grow. But if I would have listened, I could have learned. But when people are set in their little box or their little avenue or little path that's they're not able to listen to somebody else, that's the problem. You got to be able to listen. If Jesus said, I am that I am, in Genesis, I am, right? That's what it was. I am in Genesis, right? If it's the I am in Genesis, who are you? I am and I am. Just to be. Are you your job? No. Are you your race? No. Are you are you anything down here in 3D? No, I am inside. I am. That's my creator. That's where I abide. That's how I live and breathe and have my being. I'm not talking New Age I am stuff. I'm talking about the Bible I am. Jesus. Who are you? I'm in Jesus. Who is I am? Jesus. Just be. You don't have to be doing anything. Just sit there and just rest in that. And that's when you arrive. If you really want to arrive, that's how you arrive. Once you arrive to that nothing else out here matters, I'm just happy that I got saved and I'm just resting in Jesus, who is I am. So I'm resting in the I am. Not calling myself I am, but I'm a derivative of the I am. I'm off river. I'm a flow through that. We flow in him, through him, to him. When we see him, we'll be like him. You can misinterpret what I said at the end all day long. I don't really care. I'm telling you in a really simple way that if you really want to have peace, just rest in the I am. Rest in Jesus. Rest in Christ. I'm trying to say it. Rest in the real Neo. You become Neo down here in his stead because you take on his nature, sons of God, daughters of God. You take on God's nature through Jesus, so you are sons of God. You become a copy and the image of Jesus down here if you walk in the spirit. When you walk in the flesh, you're a copy of what? The devil. You're disconnected. But if you want to be connected with God, with the truth, with the universe, with reality, you connect with the mind of Christ. Not the mind of the world, the flesh, pride, life, but with the mind of Christ. Then you're inside I am. And that's where you want to be. That's where you want to abide. So all these wars amongst people, it's just funny. There's some truth to unity consciousness, but we're all from the same source, yes. But to get back to God, you got to go through Jesus. There's only one way. This is why people who don't go through Jesus still don't have peace. The yoga people, they don't really have peace. Just listen to them. The New Age really don't have peace. I've watched them. They actually, I could stop teaching or talking or anything. I just stop right now and be happy the rest of my life, not doing anything except doing my rentals or doing my job or whatever. I wouldn't even have to talk about it anymore. I'm just resting in the I am, who is Jesus. I'm just resting in that, in the finished work by faith. I don't have to do anything else. If I die right now, I'm content. I found the source code truth. I'm not in a box. If you call Jesus a box, that's on you. But that's what I'm resting in. It's not a box. It's if the Son shall make you free, you shall be free indeed. It's outside the box. But most people say, "Well, that's your religion. That's another box." Well, whatever. If you want to believe that, what about your box? You better find a box that opens up, and you better find a box that is not of this world. That's all I can tell you. And the only box I know that's not of some kind of man-made doctrine is the revelation of Jesus throughout the ages. It had to be revealed through the ages, and that's not a box. And if you read all these different belief systems and all, you start to see it all comes back to Christ. It all comes back to Jesus. It all comes back to the I am, the great I am. Why do they all end up back to the I am? Because Jesus said, I am that I am. Because it all points back to Jesus. If somebody's a serious researcher, they're going to come back to the I am. Even if you do the etymology, it's going to come back to the word I am and the word logos. Every time. I don't care how you get there. Jesus is the end result of all your research. It has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with male or female. It has nothing to do with anything down here in 3D. It's outside of 3D. That has nothing to do with rich or poor. It has nothing to do with it doesn't even the one I forgot to talk about that, the smart or the super smart or the ignorant. Anybody can be saved. Anybody can be saved.